And good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day.
And hello, good morning. It is Tuesday, February 12th, and today is National Plum Pudding Day. Now, I know what you're thinking. It is British, this is true. However, they are celebrating it in America today.
Okay, and a pudding is a dessert.
Yes, it is.
It's a dessert, is a
pudding.
It
is a dessert, and it's not really a pudding.
All right.
But I'll tell you about it later.
All right, on our show today, from the Ho Community Benefit, we have Susan Johnson. She is going to talk all about their services over there. Also today, from Advanced Ear Care, Stuart Spencer. He's going to give us an update, well, on the Willow Tree Center, but also on different types of hearing aids and all the services that they offer as well. We also have the United Way in the form of free tax help. Yes, on Wednesdays, they're going to be giving free tax help to those that need it and help you prepare your taxes. Wednesdays all the way through, if I'm not mistaken, the last Wednesday in March. We also have Margaret Bennett on, who is representing the Bridge Club, and going to tell us about how they have this e-blast of their own that you can get on. It's going to show you how to do that. And now you're going to tell us about the meetings, right?
Yes, and there is only one meeting today, and it's the United Regular Board meeting, which will be televised right after our show at 9:30, and it's going to be from 9:30 to 12:30 at the boardroom. Okay, so National Plum Pudding Day. Now everybody probably thinks it's a pudding, but it is not a pudding. It is a kind of a cake, bundt cake looking type of thing. Plum pudding, also known as Christmas pudding, which is weird because it's February 12th, is a steamed or boiled pudding usually served during the holiday season. In many recipes, plum pudding contains no plums. The reason for this is in the 17th century, plums were referred to as raisins or other fruits. The name Christmas pudding is first recorded in 1858 in a novel by Anthony Trollope. Plum pudding is usually made up of nutmeg, raisins, nuts, apples, cinnamon, and dates, along with other ingredients. And as we mentioned in England, traditionally every person in the home holds onto the wooden spoon together to stir the batter. While they are stirring, they also have to make a wish. So plum pudding has also been known to be called plum duff. So happy National Plum Pudding Day. And Ken, how's our weather doing? It's beautiful outside today.
You know, actually that sounds good because, you know, something, a little cake with little bits of fruit. I even like fruit cake, to be honest with you. Good fruit cake. So.
Good fruit cake.
Yes,
it's not
good
like
fruit
hard
cakes.
as a rock.
Yes, you don't need them just around the holidays.
Right.
Well, the good fruit cake has lots of rum or bourbon or something like that.
Oh yes,
so
that's better.
That's the key. Right there. All right, great weather today. We're going to be mostly sunny, 66 degrees, 67 right in there. This is going to be the warmest day of the week. But I have to warn you, that storm system that is coming in Wednesday and Thursday has now grown to be even stronger. So what we're looking at Wednesday and Thursday, we're looking at Wednesday, probably scattered showers starting to get to us mid-morning tomorrow, meaning 10, 11 o'clock. And this rain is going to last all the way till Thursday evening. In fact, it could be pretty much, not exactly nonstop, but to the point, if you remember, last week where we had rain just continuing anywhere from scattered showers to heavy rain to heavy downpours and cells coming in. So now they're looking at 1 to 2 inches on Wednesday. Yesterday, we were looking at half to 1 inch. Everything's basically doubled. And then now Thursday, we're looking at an inch. So we could be looking at now, I think I was telling you yesterday, maybe an inch between Wednesday, Thursday, maybe 2 inches. Now we're looking at maybe 3 inches. So kind of like what we had last week, that big deluge of rain coming in. So be prepared for that. Then as we get to Friday, this could actually spill over into Friday morning. That's a maybe at this point. It could end late Thursday night, spill over to Friday. Then as we get to Saturday and Sunday, we're going to see just very light showers coming in, more like what we saw last Saturday. Just a little scattered stuff, some sunshine mixed in. So Friday is a maybe. Saturday and Sunday will be light showers, but Wednesday and Thursday, we're looking at a lot of rain once again. Let's look around Orange County and beyond today. Just beautiful. Hey, look at this. Palm Springs is actually about the same temperatures where our beaches are going to be today. And that's because there's a bit of a high pressure system, a bit of an offshore wind, well, actually very, very mild breeze. but bringing us beautiful weather today. So seriously, folks, if you can get out today, enjoy it, because you're not going to have a chance really. Maybe on Friday you get a little break in there, but this is the best day of the week to really go out and enjoy the day, enjoy the sunshine. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cartmart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cartmart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
Having great home care is as easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm Lori Renaud with ActiCare Responsive In-Home Care. We can provide the perfect caregiver for you to receive exceptional care in the comfort of your home. Step 1, call to schedule a care consultation. Step 2, meet with a registered nurse in your home. Step 3, start receiving care. Aging doesn't have to be difficult. Call today to get the help you deserve.
If you asked me what I wanted to be when I was a child, I would have told you a princess or an astronaut, maybe even a chef. But things change. I may not have become a princess, but I found someone who treated me like one. I may not have become an astronaut, but I still got to see the world. I may not have become a chef, but you would never leave my house hungry. The Emeritus Institute has kept my love of learning alive. Every day is a new adventure, and the Emeritus classes have made it possible to keep living out my dreams. Sign up today and begin your life's next adventure.
Your attention. Please take down this number. Did you know that adults with untreated hearing loss experience a 30 to 40% faster decline in cognitive abilities and are more likely to develop dementia? Those with a mild hearing loss are 3 times more likely to have a history of falling. An annual hearing screening is urgent for memory care to help prevent cognitive decline and thus delay the onset of dementia. Free hearing checkups are now being offered free of charge. If you have not had an annual hearing exam, please take advantage of this free opportunity. If hearing loss is detected, hearing aids will be available to try for 10 days. Evaluations only take 30 minutes, but you must call for an appointment. Hearing screening is urgent for memory care. Please take preventive action. Call now.
And I'd like to welcome back Stuart Spencer from Advanced Air Care. Always good to have you here, sir. Welcome.
Oh, great. Great to see you, Ken. Thank you.
And we're going to get into the Willow Tree and how they're doing in just a bit. But let's talk about just in general how, people who are not hearing really clearly, how it affects them in their daily lives. And in many cases, they may not even realize it, right?
Boy, that's really the truth. That's probably the biggest understatement of the year, right? To me, it's just getting proved out medically through a lot of research and science and long-term studies, 30-year studies. Honestly, Ken, today, hearing better is just really not an option.
You're right.
Before it was like, well, okay, Dad doesn't hear well, we should take him and get some hearing aids. It's not about just the hearing. It's about, preventing them from falling. People that have hearing loss, 2 or 3 times more likely to have a fall. We all hear those stories about what happens to people once they fall.
Right.
Their health declines. It's really hard for them to recover. They struggle. They end up, getting some kind of assistive device. Whether it's a cane or walker. Those type of things, which nobody really wants anyway.
Yeah.
So it affects falling. It affects their cognitive skills. Just more and more studies. A patient just sent me an article this week about Stanford doing studies. That's just looking at what happens when people don't stimulate their hearing. And they did a great study compared to people that have hearing loss, kind of like Dr. Lynn's study that had hearing aids and people that didn't have hearing aids. And the cognitive skills just go down the drain. And so, it affects everything. It affects how we think, it affects how we communicate, it affects our lifestyles, how we participate in all these groups or activities, with our families. So, it's just not an option. We just need to hear better. And there's a lot of good ways to do that today.
Now, once people do get hearing aids, how do they care for them? What do they need to do? Do you clean them every night? Do you, obviously there's the batteries, but I know there's some hearing aids where the batteries can last a long time or they can recharge.
That's right. So, this is really a big deal. And it kind of comes online, with the onslaught of, today patients are barraged by all these mail order companies, buy them for whatever, $69, $600, $2,500. There's all these different price points. People just want to sell you the hearing aid and send it to you.
Right.
People don't even know which ear they go in, how they work, how they're supposed to adjust them. They don't fit right, they don't sound right. Then people get really discouraged, and they think, oh, well, I tried a hearing aid, it didn't work. No, you really need to see somebody that knows what they're doing and how to fit these losses.
Right.
We take into consideration so many different variables when we fit a different product on a person and how they're going to use it, how they can use it with neuropathy or arthritis or vision issues that they have. But after that, it's the care of the hearing aid is so essential. We see people every 3 months, and just look in their ears to check for just simple wax blockage.
Right.
People come in the office and honestly, we say, hey, are you hearing as well as you should be? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. And we look in their ears and they're blocked, and we get that taken care of. Then we clean their hearing aids. Like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. So that ongoing care is really essential. And you can't get that through the mail. That's for sure.
Now let's talk about the batteries, though.
Yep, sure.
I know a lot of people. In fact, the other day I was walking in the market over in Stater Brothers, and this lady who was in line, she was talking to her friends, going, "Oh yeah, I couldn't hear very well yesterday. Well, I forgot to put new batteries in." Are we at the point? There's so much technology in new there, and do they have? Are there models where, like our phones, like anything else, rechargeable lithium batteries, where at night you can just put them on something, put them on a pad or whatever it is, and they charge, where people don't have to worry about batteries
Exactly.
anymore?
That's where we're at. We have a complete line of rechargeable hearing aids today. Basically, you just take it off your ear, put it on the charger.
Yeah.
It charges overnight. You take it off, the charger in the morning, you put it on, and you wear it all day long every day, right? There are no issues. These little batteries, the battery companies, invented a battery way back when, I can't even remember how many years ago. They had the little tab on the back you pulled off.
Yeah.
Then the air would activate the battery, so the batteries would last longer, and they cost less. We used to have silver batteries, right? Those were really pricey. Then the FDA made us take the mercury out of batteries, so now they're a little more organic. But they have a real consistent milliamp drain, then it kind of rolls off and you have to change it. 5, maybe 7 days.
Right.
These people, with these little feeble hands, trying to take these little tabs off. Well, feeble, I have a hard time taking the batteries off, right?
Yeah.
So, it's really hard to do that, and think about, when you're going to do it, and make sure you have a good battery when you're going to, go into a meeting or go out for a social event. So it has been a little bit of a struggle. That's all we had before. Now these rechargeable systems just really take all that away and make it so much easier.
Yeah, I think that's, like I said, it's a concern. The batteries aren't expensive anymore.
That's right.
But having to change a battery,
it's the
can you imagine in your phone if every week you had to put a new battery in?
Yeah, that's right, and be really tiny, right?
Yes, it would be. Now, as far as people coming in for the first time and getting fitted, there are times, obviously, you might have them try something out, and they come in and they just go, these aren't right for me. This is when folks like you go, okay, you know what? I got all these other different options. Yeah. Let's find the one that is going to be right for you. It's no different than any kind of electronic device. People even buy certain phones, and they're like, this is an excellent phone, but you know what? It just doesn't, not right for me for whatever reason.
Boy, it's really the truth. And it's so essential. As I alluded to earlier, we take so many different things into consideration. And, even then, we fail, because somebody comes back and they just can't put the hearing aid on their ear.
Yeah.
Just something that simple, and we would have never seen that before.
Right.
And so we say, hey, here's a different model. How does this work? They're like, oh my gosh, that's so much easier. Or it's just the way they adjust the hearing aid. You know, we give them a remote control with the hearing aid, so they don't have to adjust it up here because they can't feel the small little buttons. They can do it right out here in front of them and change the performance of their hearing aid, or how they're hearing on the phone, or how they're hearing in some of the groups that are around here. You know, in background noise, we can accelerate the compression or reduction of background noise through directionality in hearing aids. There's so many things. Hearing is so intricate, right? And it's so complicated with the way we do these fittings. You know, just with these other products, and, you know, I mean, it's going to be more and more, you know, it's just going to be part of our life that everybody's going to try to profit, you know, from mail order hearing aids, right? You know, we just look at really saving hearing lives and doing the best job for each individual person. It's not about just throwing a dart in the dark, you know, and hoping you hit the board, and then, you know, who cares, you know, really what's going on in their own home or their own life. You know, we mailed them something and either it works or it doesn't. We bring them back every week, you know, for the next 3 to 4 weeks to analyze how they're hearing with their hearing aids. We compare that to the goal we had with checking their hearing and their speech discrimination in the sound booth. So we know we're verifying, you know, that they're hearing the best they possibly can. So we really feel good about that.
Now, we've talked about in the past, there's different price points even from you folks.
That's right.
And obviously, like anything, you know, some of the more pricier ones have the newest technology, but every few months that technology either gets better or those go down in price because, like anything, something brand new costs a little bit more, but then 6 months later, it's...
That's right.
You know?
And, you know, it's interesting. I was thinking about our interview, you know, on the drive up to work today, and, you know, I was thinking, you know, how many Ferraris do you see on the road, you know? Not very many, you know? I mean, maybe once a month or once every couple months you see a Ferrari. Then I think of myself driving it. No. But, you know, it's the same with hearing aids. You know, we have hearing aids that are extremely expensive, have all these features, and can be worked with the iPhones. And, you know, we have inexpensive hearing aids that can be worked with the iPhones. You know, we have hearing aids that are less than Costco's prices of hearing aids. You know, people say, oh, well, I just want to go there because it's less. You don't have to go there because it's less. You know, you can get the same personal care that we give people with the more expensive models and have a really good technology to hear better. So, you know, that's one of the great things about this expansion of the technology is we have a price point for everybody. You know, where they're really comfortable and they're really good systems.
And they can pair up with different systems in your home.
Oh, absolutely. The TV devices we have today, you know, like today, if I tap my ear like that, I connect to my TV just like that in 2 seconds. And I hear the TV right across the room in my hearing aids.
Now, do you need a smart TV or is there a separate box that goes?
No, there's just a little bitty box we connect, and it's just 2 seconds. So, I mean, I can sit there and watch a hockey game, and my wife can sit there and do a Bible study next to me and not hear the TV.
Very good. Now, let's talk about your office, and primarily they're almost done.
I tell you,
finishing the outside of the center there. How long has it been?
Wow.
10 years?
10 years, 2 solid years of construction.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Well, 10 years too late is what the answer is there, but they got to it, and they've really gone overboard. You know, with the detail, I'm really impressed. You know, I thought they could have stopped a little shorter than what they actually did. We actually got a brand new door. It was so exciting. It's all a clear door. It just really makes the office kind of pop. And all the little details that they've put in and taken out all the old tile and just the overall fascia of the outlook and the whole thing. We'll get our sign up, you know, here in the next couple of weeks. That'll kind of finish it off. They're going to be doing a little landscaping, you know, finish that off and finish the pavement. And I think we're there.
All right.
So fun stuff.
Very good. Stuart, always good to see you.
Oh, great to see you, Ken.
Thank you. We'll see you again in about a month. Folks, for more information, go to advancedearcare.com, and you can find out how you can come in and get a consultation and an appointment, and great people over there. So right over here at the Willow Tree Center, which is almost done being remodeled, a couple weeks away. All right, we'll see you next time. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
At Diane's Hallmark, we're ready for Valentine's Day. Are you? Come in and see our great selection of cards and gifts. We have everything you need to show that special someone how much you care. And don't forget those grandkids either. Diane's Hallmark has many gifts and cards for them as well. Diane's Hallmark is located in the town center, right next to Hobby Lobby. Come in today and take care of all of your Valentine's Day needs.
Are you looking for a better way to manage your medication? MedBox by AmeriPharma has redefined the pharmacy experience. No more pill organizers and vials. When we fill your prescriptions, you get all your medications conveniently packaged by the dose and delivered to your door at no additional cost. This means no change in insurance, copays, or out-of-pocket expenses. Call our specialist today and discover the new way of pharmacy. MedBox by AmeriPharma.
Christine and Jack for the Jewelry Box.
Hey Christine, after being voted best jewelry store in Orange County every year since 2011, don't you find it kind of odd that there are still folks that don't know about the previously enjoyed jewelry we sell?
Yep, it's a shame, Jack. You know, we buy from our customers at great prices. Our master jewelers refurbish the best of the best, and we sell at prices way below other jewelers.
So that's the reason we're still number one.
It's one of many, Einstein.
The Jewelry Box. It's about trust.
When you travel with AAA, you get more than a vacation. You get exclusive AAA member benefits, special offers on unforgettable experiences, and the travel planning knowledge of your own AAA travel agent. When you travel with AAA, you get the vacation of your dreams. To save on a pleasant holidays vacation, visit your local AAA travel agent today.
Where can you see the greatest names in golf? Still making a name for themselves? Orange County's only PGA Tour Champions event returns as the Hogue Classic. Catch the legends of the PGA Tour at Newport Beach Country Club March 6th through the 10th and help Hogue Hospital give back to the health and vitality of our community in Southern California. Also, come visit the Hogue Health Village presented by Blue Shield of California to partake in games, giveaways, and informational health talks. Tickets available now at HogueClassic.com.
Welcome back. We have Susan Johnson, who is here on behalf of the Faith Community Nurse Program, but that's actually Health Ministries and Nursing Outreach with Hogue Hospital. Well, welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
That was such a mouthful. I hope I got it all in. So you are a nurse, but you also are in charge of a couple of other things. So let's talk about the program that you're talking about.
Okay, so I'm with the Faith Community Nurse Program, Health Ministries, and we are a spiritually based health and wellness, preventive health type of program.
Okay.
And so I am employed by Hogue and work out of the Center for Healthy Living in Newport Beach. But our nurses work throughout the county. They're volunteer nurses for the most part. And we partner with 46 churches, mosques, and synagogues throughout Orange County.
Okay.
And so the nurses are primarily volunteers, maybe 10% are paid by their churches, and the nurses set up the programs that meet the needs of their particular congregation.
Okay.
So it's our way of being able to provide community health in the communities where the people are already congregating.
Okay. Give me an example of some of the things that they would set up, like what kinds of programs for each community.
So I would say that one of our nurses that is employed by her church, and she works maybe 20 hours a week, so she does a lot more. So she does things like assisting the clergy with home and hospital visits. She might go with a client to a doctor's visit, explain what the medications are, explain what the doctor just said, explain what the discharge plan really is, that sort of thing. They also set up things like health education, bring in speakers, set up support groups. A lot of our churches have older congregants, and so a number of our nurses are doing grief support and caregiver support. And then depending on the needs of the congregation, they might have other types of support groups in place. The nurses will do blood pressure screenings, we do flu clinics, some do health fairs. So it's kind of like, you know, a faith community nurse is sort of like a jack of all trades, and you know, depending on what the needs are.
So how would you know, like if I was to go into, you know, my local church just here, Who would I ask for something like that? I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that.
Well, you would ask the clergy, and they probably would say, we've never heard of this before. So you need to reach out to Hogue.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Hogue Health Ministries, Faith Community Nursing. So if you Google that, then they would get information on it.
Okay.
And we really are trying to grow the program and become more diverse, and we're open to churches, mosques, synagogues, and all faith traditions.
Okay. So that way, so if you are wanting to know if there is someone at your specific church, they should just go to what you said in terms of Hogue. Okay.
Yes.
And then they could find out through them as to whether or not their congregation has someone.
Well, kind of.
Okay.
So chances are that the particular faith organization may not have heard of us.
Okay.
And likely they have not. But then they could reach out to Hogue to find out what we can provide for them. And then they would recruit a nurse typically from their own congregation.
Oh, okay.
Because then that nurse would know the religion, they would know the congregation, and they would know the sort of the spiritual needs of the congregants.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what it is that you do. I mean, how long have you been a nurse?
Oh, quite a while.
Well, forever.
So, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Has it always been at Hogue?
So no.
Okay.
No, I've done a variety of things in the in the past.
Okay.
But so my background is critical care nursing, public health. I've done office administration. I've done teaching, and so this role as a faith community nurse manager sort of brings everything together.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your responsibility? Obviously, to promote the program. Or do you also interview any of the nurses that come through?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I usually meet with the nurses one-on-one when they're considering going into starting a program in their own congregation. And so then I'm able to explain a bit about the program, and they can tell me about their backgrounds.
Okay.
And then we also provide a 5-day training. So we really train the nurses on the whole person concept of body, mind, and spirit.
Okay. Okay, great. So you're bringing them in, kind of giving them the Hogue philosophy.
Right.
Perfect. Okay,
exactly.
Good. And then you also do flu shot clinics, I hear, which are in the fall. How does that work?
Well, so I feel like a big part of my job is logistics and event planning.
Okay.
And so with the flu clinics, they have grown over the years. When I started, I think we went to maybe 30 some places, and now we're going to about 60 places.
Oh, wow, okay.
So the faith community nurses receive vaccine and all the supplies, and they provide their own clinics at their own church, mosque, or synagogue.
Okay.
And then we do, my staff and I do a lot of the other clinics that we do we do one at Hogue Irvine, we do some at senior centers, and we go to about 20 some places throughout Orange County in the community to bring the preventive vaccine to them.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's
that's
really good. So
well, then they don't have to, I mean, people who might have struggles to try and get to the location, you're actually going. And I'm glad you said the senior center. We have a very active senior center here, and hopefully you come to the senior center here.
Well, now that sounds like that could be something.
Yes. So I'm sure that would be something that would work. Anything else? Anything else that you'd like to share with us? I mean, are you looking, sounds like you're looking for people who are nurses that would like to participate.
Correct.
Is there, obviously you have to be a nurse, any other specific requirements?
So a nurse, and then you have to have a supportive clergy. So that's one of the things that my staff and I will do. We'll go meet with the clergy to explain the program and what the requirements are and that sort of thing. But it's such a rewarding program. The nurses who do this say things like, I've been waiting for this job my entire life.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a really, you do a lot of things for a lot of people, and we would just love to expand the program, expand to new congregations. We don't have any that are specifically, Korean speaking or Japanese speaking or
Perfect.
We're looking for diversity and growth.
And those that want to help.
That's right.
Right, which I'm assuming most nurses do anyway. Well, thank you very much. It was very nice to meet you.
Well, very nice to meet you
and
too.
And good luck with your program.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And remember, if you would like more information about the health ministries, you can always go on the website at Hogue and look up health ministries. We'll be right back after this.
My name is Angela. I'm 51 years old and I was diagnosed with a heart murmur. Before the surgery, I was struggling to breathe. I was missing out a lot on playing with my son. I decided to go to Hoag from Nevada to have my mitral valve repair because the surgeons there are excellent.
My personal approach to patient care is really taking care of a patient as if they were a member of my family.
After the surgery, I can chase him and run around and play with him as much as he wants. It's like a miracle. It's like this patient made it through the toughest time in their life, and it's an awesome feeling.
The feeling to see these patients recover, especially when they're critically ill like that, it's just the best feeling in the world.
We wanted this to be one of the top cardiovascular centers in the region, the state, the nation, and to be recognized for that. We've achieved that.
If I had to go back and make the same choice, I would choose Hoag again. They treated me like family. This changed my life, and now I get to be with my son.
As I age, I realize that time is as important as my health. I have chronic health issues, and I want to make sure that I am in control of how I take my prescription medication. Before, I had to deal with the insurance companies. I had to take care of my refills. I had to go to the pharmacy, parcel out the doses when I got home. That all changed when I discovered AmeriPharma's MedBox. Now, all my medications are conveniently packaged and delivered right to my door. What MedBox does, it sorts these and puts them into an easy-tear packet, all conveniently labeled by time. And I never miss a dose. MedBox makes it simple to take the right medication at the right time, and the service is free. I feel healthier and happier. This is the pharmacy of the future.
The #1 choice for President's Day savings is LA Carpet and More.
Now save 65% on carpet and 65% off tile.
Plus, get 5 years 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
The #1 choice for President's Day savings is LA Carpet and More.
Now save 65% on carpet and 65% off tile.
Plus, get 5 years 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Welcome to South County Adult Day Services. Conveniently located right here in Laguna Woods, we provide a safe, secure environment where you or your loved one can spend the day. Come socialize with friends, engage in enriching activities, receive the expert care you need, and participate in fun hobbies. Improve your mental and physical health and maintain your independence. We even take care of transportation. For a free tour, call us at 949-855-9444 or visit us at our center between El Toro and Moulton Parkway right next to the Olive Garden.
Welcome back. All right, so Bridge Club members or non-Bridge Club members, we have Margaret Bennett here, who is here to tell us about some upcoming classes that you will be sure to want to take. Well, welcome back again. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
All right, so you've got some new classes and you have a current class that's going on. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now?
Okay. My current class actually began January 4th, and it ends this Friday.
Okay.
It's the second part of a 3-part series in the Audrey Grant books.
Okay.
The first, in the fall, I worked on the first book. It's just a basic introduction of bridge. My class that began in January is on competitive bidding. And so students learn to preempt, they learn to overcall, and they learn to takeout doubles. Okay. All very important tools to become effective bidders and players of bridge.
Okay, all right. And then you have, so the third book is called Popular Conventions. What does that mean?
Well, a convention is a shortcut. The bridge is a language, but it's not a language of words. It's a language of using cards, either from the bidding box or the cards that you're actually playing in your hand.
Okay.
And a convention, it's an artificial bid. For example, if my partner opened 1 no and I said 2 clubs, that doesn't mean I want to play in clubs. It's called the Stamen Convention, and it was named after Sam Stamen. Another example, if my partner opened 1 no and I said 2 diamonds, that doesn't mean that I want to play in diamonds. It means that I want my partner to transfer to hearts, and I want to play the contracted hearts. And that's called the Jacoby transfer, named after Oswald Jacoby.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Note here that these two gentlemen that developed these ways of playing, these shortcuts for people, are immortal now in the world of bridge.
Wow.
I'm still working on the Bennett Convention, but a note to all the bridge players out there, you could be immortal also. All you have to do is think about something
yeah.
new.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, that we can all enjoy.
How long has bridge been around?
Well, it actually developed out of first a game that we know that was played in the 17th century called Triumph.
Okay.
And then eventually Triumph became a game that I'm sure you're going to be familiar with, called whist. A lot of whist players out there.
Wow.
In the 1800s, there was a book published by Edgar Hoyle on whist, and it was the second most popular book to be sold at that point in time.
Wow.
The first being the Bible. So that's how many whist players there are.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you read Gone with the Wind, Scarlett O'Hara was playing whist.
Oh, look. Oh, see, but so did bridge derive from that?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It developed out of that because in whist, it was a step up from Triumph in that now you had the trump suit.
Oh, okay.
But the trump, to have a trump suit, you just had the last card. Whatever the last card was when you dealt the deck, that was the trump suit. Okay. Well, players started to realize that they wanted to have a little bit more control over that. They wanted to have the privilege of naming the trump suit and not have it just be a game of chance. And so auction bridge developed out of whist, and then eventually contract bridge developed out of auction bridge.
Okay.
And with each new generation, there were changes that made the game more interesting, more stimulating, more challenging, and more competitive.
And have we seen any new changes recently, or has it been only?
Things are always being perfected, and that's why bridge clubs continue to offer classes, because the new techniques. A lot of people that play bridge are familiar with the name of Charles Gorin. There was the Gorin method. And the method that I'm teaching is called Standard American. But the Bridge Club is also teaching a system called 2/1. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. Okay. So yes, things keep developing, things keep changing, and clarification, there's just more clarification of how to do what, when, and why.
Right, and I would assume that with repetition, you keep going to the classes or you keep playing bridge, all of it's going to be familiar to you at some point.
Absolutely, yes. As a matter of fact, I had a great experience with my new class last week. I had been talking about, how to develop your tricks in your hand. And one woman, I stood beside her and worked with her, and she looked up at me and she said, "I finally understand what you mean." It's just like, oh, the light bulb went on.
Yeah.
It was so rewarding for me.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of myself.
Well, yeah. Well, you're helping people out, which is excellent. Okay, so even though someone missed the first part, they can participate in the rest of the sessions, or would they be missing out?
Well, if they're a very, very basic beginning bridge player, they're going to miss out, because it's like building stones. You kind of learn one level and then you go up to the next level and then you go up to the next level.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that if you have a little bit of experience with bridge that you can't start taking these classes.
Okay.
Because as we said, my next class will be on the Stamen Convention, the Jacoby Transfer Convention, the Strong 2 Club opening, and slam bidding.
Oh.
And some people need to brush up on either one or all of those areas, so they're certainly welcome for the class.
Okay.
I'm meeting with the Education Committee tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and I'm hoping to get permission to start the class on March 1st. Even though my second class is just ending this week, which is the 15th, we'll have a week off, and I want to get the next class started because it'll be 7 weeks, and it will end on April 12th, the week before Good Friday. And all the grandparents out there know that your grandkids either have off the week before Easter or the week after Easter.
Okay.
So, we won't interfere with any of our grandparent duties.
Oh, there you go.
If we get the class started March 1st.
Well, that'll be great. And then, you can go to Laguna Woods. They have Laguna Woods Bridge website for all of this information.
LagunaBridge.com.
Okay.
And what I recommend for people to do, whether they're playing right now or they're thinking about it, is to go to the homepage, and there are 4 links that are green on the right-hand side, and see the one that says sign up for weekly blast?
Yes.
Once a week, you'll get this colorful email blast from the Bridge Club that talks about all the classes, when the games are, what's coming up, what to expect. It's really informative because you never know, even though you may not be ready to start playing bridge right now, what if you run into a long-lost friend and find out they're a bridge player and you realize, oh, you can reconnect again just by playing bridge and having fun.
Well, yeah, and meeting husbands and wives. That's all you guys have said. Oh yeah, I met my husband, I met my wife. I'm like, wow, this bridge club is like matchmaking club.
Well, it can be, that's for sure, yeah. The only problem is, and I just learned this last week, that there are 8 women for every man playing bridge.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Okay.
Okay, so if somebody wants to talk to a live person for more information, who should they call?
Well, they can call the Bridge Club, and the number is 949-268-2420. Okay, perfect. But let me clarify, it's not a staffed line. In other words, the only time that the phone would be answered is when the directors are in the club, and we're there from 10:30 till 4:30, but during that time, we're also very busy setting up the game. So we may have to call you back, or we may have to take your number and refer you to somebody else, and that happens to me frequently. I'll get calls from people that are new and are interested in bridge, and they're referred directly to me.
Okay.
Yeah, which is nice. I get to touch bases with all these new players.
All right, excellent. So one last thing is the last time we talked, you talked about a UCI study. Tell me a little bit more about that again.
Oh, yes. It was a longitudinal study, which means it was at least 25 years. And the researchers from UCI started interviewing bridge players, and they interviewed them periodically. Of course, you have to do that, you know, at intervals. And even though by the end of the study, by the end of 25 years, some of them were no longer with us, they were still able to determine that bridge is the best way to stave off dementia.
Wonderful.
In the elderly. And you know, that's
there's a lot of thinking in bridge.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of thinking.
And not only the thinking part of it, but the competitive part of it. You know, it kind of lights something in your soul. And it gets you up in the morning, it gets you dressed. You can either wear your gems or your folk art jewelry and show off all your beautiful wardrobe that, you know, if you stay home, you're not putting those on.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Those are great conversational pieces too.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I do want to mention also, I'm not the only bridge teacher over at the club. There's also a very important class that took place in January called Learn Bridge in a Day. And I don't think it's any big secret that you really can't learn bridge in a day. I mean, it takes a lifetime between you and me. But for follow-up classes on Saturday morning from 9:30 to 12, Mike Murray is teaching a beginning class on 2/1. It's one of the other systems that I mentioned. Okay?
Perfect.
So you don't have to have any experience with bridge. You can join Mike's class and get started.
And that's on the website too, right?
That's on the website.
And that's
absolutely.
Laguna Bridge.
LagunaBridge.com.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you. Nice to have you back again.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right, good luck.
Fun.
And if you want more information about the Bridge Club, you can call the number 949-268-2420, or you guys can go to the website, LagunaBridge.com. We'll be right back after this.
Choice for wood flooring and more is LA Carpet.
Now during their 2-day sale, visit their showroom now and get 65% off wood flooring, laminate, and waterproof flooring.
Plus, get 5-year, 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Welcome back. Well, today we're going to be talking about taxes. Not always the most fun subject, but in this case, Sue Parks is with us with the United Way, and they are going to be having help for you, if that's what you would like. People that can help you do your taxes at no cost, and it's done in conjunction with the United Way and also AARP, and It's a really great service, so welcome.
Thanks, Ken. Glad to be here.
So tell me about when you're going to be doing this and how long the program goes on.
Okay, well, OC Free Tax Prep runs through April 15th.
Okay.
And here at Laguna Woods, we're actually supporting with volunteers who are every Wednesday at Clubhouse 5 in the dining room from 9 to 3.
Okay.
So, and that will go through March in terms of having people on site. But there are sites throughout the county as well.
Now, as far as people doing this, how do they, I guess they're going to ask, do I need an appointment? Do I just show up? How does that work?
They can certainly just show up in terms of what's going on, but there's a great site to find out all their questions and their answers. And I'm not sure if it's on the screen behind me.
OCFreeTaxPrep.com.
OCFreeTaxPrep.com, exactly. Yeah. And that'll answer any questions, but it'll also show maybe Wednesdays aren't a good day, but they want to get this done and they want the help. It'll show them other sites throughout the county as well.
Okay, now what about, I think people who maybe want to do this, they're going to ask, well, who are these people that are helping out? Are they accountants? Are they trained? Obviously you want to know that because they're the ones that are guiding you through this process, right?
Absolutely. So every year, Orange County United Way trains with the IRS over 500 volunteers. So these are volunteers who have been trained, and so they've gone through a really very strict training program, but they really are here to help people who need help with their taxes. And we say that low and moderate income people here in Orange County. And such a great service because it takes away the tax preparation fee, but also it links people who earn under $55,000 a year may not know that there are earned income tax credit programs out there, and they may be able to get up to $6,000 back. And again, they can go on OCFreeTaxPrep.com to learn more, but those volunteers are trained to help people. Just last year alone, we brought back $4.6 million to people in Orange County who qualified. So these are working people who have a W-2 or self-employed, but earn under $55,000. So that's another amazing reason for your members here might qualify for that, to take a look at it.
Now, that's $55,000 per individual, am I right? Or is it by couple, or that
would be household.
Oh, household.
Household income, yes.
Okay. Now, when they decide to do this, they're going to, what should they bring? Just the kind of things you'd normally bring, your W-2, if you give into any charities and have deductions and things like that.
Yeah, but just think about it as going to an accountant, and for people who haven't done that before, again, I keep referring back to the website, but the website will tell them exactly what to bring. But definitely bring all of their identification, any receipts that they have questions on, certainly their W-2s, or on documentation if they're self-employed.
Okay, now as far as again, since it's a limited time here, it's only Wednesdays, am I right? If people want to set up a time, can they, or is it strictly first come?
Again, in terms of checking out, I believe that it would be available for them to go on OCFreeTaxPrep.com to see if there's specific appointments scheduled on Wednesday. Other than that, they could come, they could see the flow of folks, and I don't think they would have a long wait.
Okay, and usually I would think that a lot of the people who are in this bracket, it doesn't take too long to do their taxes.
Right, I think it's just the help. The help, and again, I can't emphasize enough that there are people who are missing out on that earned income tax credit program. And I think that last year, or a couple of years ago, the government here thought, when they looked at all the records of who would have qualified, 1.1 million people missed out on that earned income tax credit. There was something like $1.9 billion left on the table. So I strongly encourage anybody who maybe think, oh, my brother-in-law helps me with my taxes, or somebody else helps me with my taxes, may not know about that earned income tax credit, and what a wonderful way to find out.
And is that tax credit like just deducted from the from your income? Is that how that works?
Well, I know that they get a check back. So last year we brought back the Orange County United Way, and working with all of our partners, we brought back over, I think, $4.6 million to people here. We helped,
and we want to help more. On that.
Yeah, we want to help more.
So again, the website, OCFreeTaxPrep.com, obviously, you know, what Sue is saying here, she encourages you to look at that first, because that's going to give you all the information that you need, what you need to bring with you, because there might be things that you don't know about. You know, I'm looking at the list here. Obviously, people know W-2s, but, you know, like a 1098 in T forms for educational expenses. A lot of people wouldn't have thought to bring that.
Right.
You know, so that's really helpful.
Yeah, set yourself up so you can win and you can maximize the process there, right?
Okay.
And again, so I know that we're here at Laguna Woods, and just so you know, they did a survey, the government does a survey, and there's a lot of people in zip code 92637, which I believe is the Laguna Woods zip code, that would qualify for that earned income tax credit, meaning they're working, they get a W-2, or they're self-employed. And we want to make sure everyone here gets the maximum benefit that they can.
Okay, and that's a good point that you just brought up. People here that are still working.
Correct.
That are still,
right.
People that are just retired on Social Security or a pension or something like that, that's different.
If they still want to help with their taxes,
Right.
please come. But for the earned income tax credit, it's based on your earnings. So again, two different ways to think about it. For people who come and would qualify for getting their free taxes, it would be $60,000 or under in terms of their income. And for somebody eligible for the earned income tax credit, it'd be under $55,000.
Okay, very good. And again, that website is ocfreetaxprep.com. I encourage you to go there because you can get all your information. It starts is it this Wednesday?
Yeah, it runs now through the end of March here.
Okay.
And you know, we at Orange County United Way are just happy to help. One of our major goals is helping people achieve financial stability. And this is a really important program that, again, we're excited to have the opportunity to share.
All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Great to have you on. And again, once again, ocfreetaxprep.com, and go on there first, get your information, make sure you bring all your stuff with you. That's the important thing.
Great.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you,
Good
Ken.
to see you. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha Na Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
Friday's movie is a good one. I just saw this last weekend, and it's called First Man. And it is a biopic on the life of the legendary American astronaut Neil Armstrong from 1961 to 1969 on his journey to becoming the first human to walk the moon, exploring the sacrifices and costs on the nation and Neil himself, one of the most dangerous missions in the history of space travel. It has Ryan Gosling, who plays Neil Armstrong, and then Claire Foy, who is from The Crown, if you've been watching that on Netflix. She is his wife in the movie, and then it has Jason Clarke. They really do a very good, prediction of what it looks like, or what it would be like being Neil Armstrong. And there's a lot of struggles with his family and being a father and trying to take on his job as well. And there's a lot of unknowns, and unfortunately, a lot of people died along the way, but it really does show a really good job of what he would go through. So that's on Friday at 2 and 7 p.m. And then on Monday, February 18th, 2 and 6 p.m. is a scary one. This one is called Poltergeist, and it was made in 1982, but nonetheless, just as scary today as it was then. And it is about a young family that is visited by ghosts in their home. At first, the ghosts appear friendly, moving objects around the house to the amusement of everyone. Then they turn nasty and start to terrorize the family before they kidnap the youngest daughter. So this is a Spielberg classic. And like I said, just keep the lights on and you won't be scared. So that will be on Monday, 2 and 6 p.m. Okay, and then we've got our weather. And Ken was warning us of some torrential downpours that are going to be here soon. Which, I hope not, because I think we're a little tired of the rain. And I think he told us last time that, man, we're like five inches over what we need, something like that. So mild today, increasing clouds later, 66, 49, and then of course rain on Wednesday. We've got rain on Thursday, and possibly more scattered showers on Friday and Saturday. And it's not going to be all that warm this week, but at least it's not in the freezing temperatures overnight. And then around town, we've got mostly in the high 60s. And then, of course, Palm Springs was the same as our local beach weather. So looking good. I mean, you know, it's not bad for California, right? Good thing we don't live in Chicago. So other than that, tomorrow we are going to have the Senior Center on, Theater Guild, and then Diane Mendoza with more Dream Vacations. And don't forget, you can watch the meeting right at 9:30, right after the morning show. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.